All right, guys, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to our live stream. So glad to have you guys here for today. We're going to go ahead and just get right into it, guys. Today I'm going to be using my pad here because it just seems so much more convenient than having to look things up on there. So today we're going to be talking about observations. We're going to be just doing some pictures and then talking about how we could be better observers in our drawings. So for this, we're going to obviously need some different faces, okay? And the first thing that I like to do in the face is I like to I'm a spatial awareness. I don't know if you guys know what spatial awareness is, but spatial awareness is basically if I were to if, let's say I were this is a shape that I wanted to draw, okay? And we're just looking at spatial awareness. Okay, this is one of the skills you have to learn how to really develop as a caricature artist. So what happens is over here. Let's say if I drew some dots like this. Well, spatial awareness is saying I this dot is this far away from that dot. This dot's that far away from this dot. This dot's that far from this dot. That dot's far enough from this dot. So this way, if you do that, you're able to recreate the square because you can see all of the pertinent points. So, for instance, here, if I were drawing this particular person, okay, I would go in here and say, okay, well, what kind of head shape do I see here? Well, I can see here she has a very wide jawline right here, okay, so which means to me she has a wide short. So what I'm thinking is this, okay, if I were thinking it in my mind, I'm thinking this one, I'm thinking of a short space here, right, then I'm thinking of this space here, then I'm thinking of this space here, right, then I'm thinking of this space here, right? Because this space is a little bit further, little is small compared to this one, and then we'll come back out, and then we'll go back up, right? And then we can connect back to that shape. So what happens is I start connecting lines. So I'll just think, okay, that's one shape, right? Then I'll go here, and I'll connect this shape. Then I'll go here, and I'll connect this shape. Then I'll go here, and I'll go around to this shape. Then I'll connect this with a round shape. Then I'll connect this shape, right? Then I'll connect this shape, and then I'll connect that shape. So it makes it look like it's almost like connecting the dots together when you can see your spatial awareness uh, a lot better, okay? So here, then we'll go ahead and we'll put our little neck shape here, okay? And then we'll just start putting our hair in. So now we're thinking, okay, this is going to be my high point of the hair, right? And then I start just kind of putting dots out from where the actual dots are. So here you'll see that I'll have a dot and I'll put a dot like kind of right next to it. So I'm going to kind of make the same shape that I did all over again. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put some shapes out here kind of in relation to these, okay? So these tell me kind of where everything goes. So here you can see I'm going up and then I'm going down, right? And then here you can see this is where the hair just kind of goes out and comes out around the head. All right, so then we're going to go from that dot, right? And then we'll just connect to this dot, right? And then we can see this is a big, huge space over here. Okay, and then we'll come down here. And we can see that this is a big, huge space out here. Okay, so we have our hair and our head shape pretty much situated. Then we have our center line here, right? And then we can see where do our features go to. So we can connect dot to dot, okay? And we can see where everything is kind of going to, okay? So this might be the top of the head here, all right? And then down here, I might draw my lips in relation to that, right? So you can see she has a small mouth, all right? I gave her a little smile instead of this one she has in the picture, but you understand what's going on here. Then we'll just do our generalization here, and then we have over here we have big eyes, right? So we know that our character has big eyes that are big and wide and set apart with eyelashes on them. See? And then of course you're going to draw your eyes in there like so. Or you can put your eyeballs in there, whatever you want to do. Okay. We're not going to get fancy with it, but again, spatial awareness. Where is where are things in relation to other things is really what you want to get good at when you're doing caricatures. Okay. All right. Don't forget, guys, to share the stream. If you guys feel like you're benefiting from the live, don't forget to share. Okay. So that right now we're talking about learning how to see, learning about spatial awareness. And what is spatial awareness? Spatial awareness is saying using your ability to tell how far things are from each other to be able to draw caricatures. So you have to be able to look at points and see where that point corresponds to in the thing that you're going to draw. Here I gave the example of a square, and a square having 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Over here you can see I drew a circle where to represent each one of those points, and then I connected lines between them. But I first must figure out the distance between each circle, and I must be able to kind of eyeball that, and then I must be able to see whether when I make that observation, I must be able to see, well, what side might be bigger or smaller or shorter or taller than the other one, because all of these things play a part in drawing caricature. You have to develop spatial awareness, and the best way to do it is to start with basic shapes. So if you start with a basic shape like a triangle, like a diamond, okay, if you want to draw a diamond over here, well, then you would practice putting 4 spots and then you would connect them together. This is what spatial awareness is, right? If I want to create a rainbow, right? I might create 3 spots, and then I might say, okay, I'm going to connect from here to here and here to here. But again, the way that I place the dots will tell me how big that particular situation is going to grow. So again, like in the face, you'll come here. Let's go ahead and find another face to work from here. Okay, let's say we're working with this guy's face here. Okay, well, let me let me move this over some here. No, that's not it. I want to move this down some so you can see. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's see here. So we're gonna do like this. Now this guy, what he has 1, right? He has 2 and 3 for his top of his head. And then he has 2 shapes that are just a little bit outside of these 2. So it's a little bit far. It's not only going outwards, but it's going down at the same time. So I don't want this to line up with, but I want it to be slightly outside of these shapes here, okay? All right, then from here, what I'm doing is I'm coming back in to line up with these 2 shapes, and I'm looking at the distance and the angle from these 2 shapes. So I'm looking at this in relation to this, okay? So, and then from there, we're going to come into this shape, and we're going to go 1 and 2 because we want to see how thick our chin is going to be, okay? So once I have those dots down in that order, then it becomes I'm connecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Now watch. Okay, you can see here that this is how the head is formed, right? Then between these 2 dots here, you have your hair that's kind of growing on the side. And you have your ear shape here. Then we extend our neck down, okay? And then we add all of our features in, again, by using a generalization, okay? So we generalize that the eyes are a little bit closer to each other. Usually they're going to be on a guy's face. He has a round nose that's about this far. So I want something that's round. I don't care about it being what I don't care about the nostrils. I just care about the overall roundness of the middle of the nose here. Okay. All right. Now here we have a roundness here and here that we want to put in. I try to go with my outlines when I'm doing a lot of exaggeration. Let's go here to the middle shape. So now, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of think of our shapes like this, and we're thinking of the eye as one big long idea. Okay, and then we'll just put our eye shapes in here like so. Okay, and we have a smile that goes from node to node. So I might do like this, and I'm pointing kind of at these nodes up here because you can see here it'll make him look a little bit happier, right? And then we add these little lines here, right? And we can see we got a pretty good little cartoon. Add some lips here and the down shapes and the curve shapes. Okay, and there you have it. Big head, little body, right? Okay, so we put that whole caricature together very easily, again, by using spatial awareness. Okay. Now, there's also times in caricature where, and this is the next thing that we'll get into. Not there's spatial awareness, but then there's also um, how well you pay attention. Okay, let me see here. Hey, how you doing? Realism. I hope more people find your. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go back over here. But we're gonna more than space. Next, spatial awareness is obviously, I think, I would put that at like almost at the top of the list because sometimes that takes time to develop. But then the next thing is that knowing, how can I put it in words that in layman terms, and caricature, you'll find yourself a lot of times doing things that are counter, almost in real life is drawn one way, but in a cartoon it has to be drawn another way to get the effect that you want from real life. In real life, you have a lot more tools to work with to be able to create depth and roundness and stuff like that, right? But in caricature, it's different. So let me give you an example of that. I think the best way to show it to you is this. Okay. All right. So let's just say I'm gonna go over here to my Pinterest, and what we'll do is we'll look up some we'll look up I'll tell you what, we'll look up some. We're going to look up some smiling faces. Okay. And once we get to the smiling faces, is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you an example of what I mean. Okay, so let's say this is her. Okay. and you want to draw her eyes, okay? Now, in real life, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. In real life, okay, I'm going to show you all these lines. This is let's pretend I want to draw a real picture of her, okay? So this would be a line here. Let me see. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. I'm going to show you. Okay. Now hold on. Okay, wait. Show you what I mean here. Okay. Then there's another line here. And then there's another line here. Hold on. Okay, then there's another line here. And a line here. And then there's another line here. I'm going to show you. Hold on, just give me a sec. Okay. Okay. And as I said, we add a lot of lines here. Okay. I'm getting to the point here in just a sec. Just give me a minute here. Okay. Now watch. Okay. I'm trying to prove a point to you. All right. So I think that's enough of the of what I'm trying to do to show you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and then I'm going to show you how this is too many lines. Okay? It's too real. It looks too real. It's too many lines. So in a caricature, what I might do is I'm going to use generalizations. Okay? So for instance, one generalization I love to use is when I look at the eyes, I like to combine the eyes and cheeks together. So let's say I'm drawing the eyebrows. I'll draw the bottom of the cheek first, the top of the cheek first, and then I'll come back with a shape inside of that. Okay? What that does is it bends the eye a little bit more, right? And it gives it more depth. You get what I'm saying? So here, not depth, more feeling. Okay? So here you can see over here versus over here. You have less feeling over here and more feeling over here with a simpler set of lines. Now what I don't have to do is I don't have to add this line and that line because that line is really just this line right here. I just combine them all together. Then I'll come here and in my nose shape what I'll do is I'll make it one simple shape. See how this is all these shapes right here? But here when I did it, I made it into a shape that resembles something like that, but this is literally the interpretation of her nose. This is a cartoon interpretation, but it's generalized. You get what I'm saying? So you want it to be more generalized. And then here we got our mouth shape, right? So again, you got your this, and then you have this. Let me show you. Okay. Now here, what I did was I used a generalized shape. Okay, you can see here how this face looks more alive. Why? Because in real life, yes, you can draw a mouth with the potato chip shape. Okay, but it does not have the same effect. If here you can see how I opened the side of the mouth more, and then what that does was it created a line for me to put my smile lines, which also fed back into my cheeks. So if you look here, you can see my cheeks are being situated more properly because I have less lines than I have over here. So you don't want that many lines in your picture. Okay, you want to refrain from doing a lot of lines. And then here I can see pretty simply, I can see it straight up. So what I can do here is I can go with that shape. One, remember spatial awareness. Two, right? We got 1, 2 for our chin, right? And then we got 1, 2 here. So this is spatial awareness. So what I'm doing is saying I can go here, I can go here, right? I can put a chin in between this shape here. I can come over here, and then I can go back over here. You can see the shape of the face, even though it began to form a little bit better here. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, DJ? How are you this morning? Okay. So when you're drawing things in a real setting versus when you're drawing things as a cartoon, they're going to be there's a very specific way you have to draw it, and in order to get familiar with that, you have to literally just start. Yes, exactly, drawing cartoons, right? Connect the dots, right? So you just again with this one, instead of drawing all these lines, you keep everything general. You say, okay, literally, what I like to do is strip my face down to a smile with her eyes closed. You see how I literally stripped it down, and then what I can do is this: I can go on top of the eye and be like, boom, boom, right, boom, and then boom, and then here. You get what I'm saying? And here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So you want to be able to do very simple ideas first, and then build them into the picture. Okay. So let's try another one here. Let's look at let's say we're looking at this picture here. Okay, so let's say we're looking at her, okay? Hey, what's going on, crazy funny man? How are you today? All right. So here we got this one. So watch how I do. Again, you want the basic I look. This if she was just smiling and she was not anybody that I knew, this would be the basic idea of her face. This is what I want on the paper first. You get what I'm saying? So now I can go boom, boom, right? Boom, boom, right? Boom, boom, right? And then I come here, in, right? Round, teeth, like so. You see? Eyes, like that. You see? I'm creating the image of the expression first, and then once I have the expression, then I want to come down here and I want to stay close to the face and just come in and create my shapes. See her earring right here, other earring right here, right? And then we have our shape here, so we're gonna go. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 1. Then we got a 1, right? And then we got 2, right? Generalizations, and then we got 3, round. Okay, then we got a hair 1, 2, right? 3, right? You know what I'm saying? So you always, I'm just emphasizing those outer shapes. You get what I'm saying? So you want the general idea of the face as far as its expression first. Get that expression, and you just about, you can never miss. Here's another a picture, another example of that. Hold on. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. I'm gonna tell you what I need to do. I need mixed faces. Mixed. Yeah, this way we can have guys and girls in there. Okay, here we go. We got this face right here, right? Okay. So what is his expression? Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you sit down, right? Boom, watch. See? Look. You see? That's his basic smart, basic expression. You see? So all I did, I'm using this and this, right? To build my face in. You see? Okay, then once you go from here, you want those cheeks to really just be in there. So you want to go from cheek, and then we get in the cheeks, and then we put our ears in there, right? Right? And then from here, you can see, well, where's it going here? Well, it's kind of we're gonna do use a generalization. It's going in, it's going around, and then it's going back like this. And then you have this shape just kind of doing like this around the outside. Okay, you see how that works? So here is again a much more simplified way than doing it in real life, right? Okay, because you're using spatial awareness, right? And then you're combining that spatial awareness with almost what we call abbreviation. I don't know if you guys know what abbreviations are, but let me give you an example. If you ever taken a math class or not math, but let me see, like English class, let me see, uh, uh, we might have not. Okay, I have not studied, right? Then you can have I haven't studied, right? So what I did was I made these two words one word in order for me to make this sentence shorter and get right to the point. Does that make sense? So in drawing, that same idea exists. Okay, you want to learn to combine concepts of the face together, learn how they work together as groups, of course, and you'll have to take a class with me. I can show you all that. But this is just kind of how it works. So let me give you guys a little bit of information real quick. Uh, if you guys want to take a class with me, we are doing our classes now. So we have our live online classes. These are we're doing our summer sale for the classes. So the classes are 105 for 3 classes. Normally we charge 45 a class. So you're going to get a great savings by booking your class during the summertime. So if you're looking for something to do, you're bored around the house, you want to rekindle your artist fire, right? You don't necessarily even want to be a caricaturist. You just want to draw with somebody, whatever the situation may be. You want to, then reach out to me. We'll take a class together. And obviously, if you want to be a caricature artist, then I'll show you and share with you those tips and tricks and take you through the course. We do have a also a excuse me one sec here. We do also have, guys, our fundraiser that we have going on right now. So our fundraisers for our new tent. We lost our tent in a weather event. I had to draw at a festival, and at that festival there was a lot of wind and water and waves and all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I came to work the next day. My tent had blown over into the sea and snapped in pieces, so we got to buy a new one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting one with the RowserWorld and stuff on the outside and things of that nature, right? So this is what it's going to basically cause us to replace our tent. And so with the outside and everything done like we want, we are right now at 140. So we've had our fans give $140 so far toward our goal. So that's where we're sitting at this point. If you want to sew into that to help us, this will help me stay in front of the drawing board longer. I could do more live streams. I could do more, videos just for you, right? So, and then on top of that, hey, I think I'm a pretty good guy. If you've been rolling with me for a while, I don't just do this. I don't just go around asking for stuff. But when I need it or whatever, I got to come to, the source, and the source is, you guys. So thank you so much for helping us out. Okay. All right. So that's for our tent. Also, guys, don't forget to check out our Patreon page. Our Patreon page is basically our fan support page. So if you want, these are different ways to give. Patreon is just our fan support page. So we have different videos, mini courses. I have a new tier called a mini course tier that I just started maybe about 2 months ago, and it has like all these different tiers about caricature, very in depth, and it's all about drawing caricatures, just lessons. So if you guys want to be able to participate in something like that, go over to Patreon, look up the mini course caricatures tier, okay, and check it out on our Patreon. And as always, guys, tips are appreciated. You already got the information here on the screen. Thank you so much for tipping, guys. All right, thanks, you Cheeks Therapy. I appreciate you. All right, so again, we're talking about the skills that you need to develop in order to become better at doing caricature. Okay, and the first one we talked about was spatial awareness. How good is your ability to tell where things are from each other, or what their relationships are to each other? How well can you tell when something is different from something else? Like if I'm saying, well, if this, is this different from this? Is this the same? How well do you observe? Is the word we're looking for. How well do you observe, and how well do you abbreviate? Okay. So observing obviously is you look at something and you see subtle changes, but abbreviation is you ever had somebody tell you a really long story of what happened, and you say, well, man, just get right to the point. Okay. Good morning. So you say, get to the point. Daddy's, no, I'll come out in a minute, buddy. Daddy's streaming. Okay, so that's really what this is all about. Okay, so let's go back and get a few more of these in. Okay, again, we're going to be showing you what you need to put down in the beginning of your caricature. I like to start with the head shapes. Sometimes I like to start with the expression. It all depends on what I'm trying to accomplish for that picture. Okay, so let's go here, and we're just picking faces, random faces, and we're drawing a caricature of them. Okay, let's look at this face first. Okay, so we got a good face there. Now, what if we want to draw a caricature here? What will we put down here first? Okay, well, let me see. We could say, look, this is this. And then what I like to do is put down what I think would be my most pertinent thing. You can see here, I like the eyebrows, I like the mouth shape. So once I see those things, then I can be like, okay, I see this here, and I see this here, and then I see my spatial awareness is kicking in now, because now I gave myself two things in order to start or kick my spatial awareness off, my observations off. You know what I mean? Look at, here I'm looking at where my eyes are going to go. This is going to go definitely down here and into the face. You see what I'm saying? This might come down here and go straight down to the chin, right? Because I already know where those lines are going to go. Okay? You see? Here you have your so we're going to basically abbreviate the shape. But what is this shape here? We want to come back up, and we want to come over a little widow's peak, and we want to make this a shape that goes backwards just a little bit. Okay? Because he has this piece of his head that kind of sits back here like this, and then it kind of goes around, right? And then it comes here and it curves with the head, and then you can see his head his hair is just kind of combed back like that, right? Okay? So you can see here, you see how we got like a quick little thing of him, right? We put this here. We got his cheeks, right? His chin, right? All these abbreviations. Okay. All right. Less lines is best. Less lines is best. Do you get a bit nervous before gigs? Not anymore. Not anymore. Once I get past the first drawing, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of once I'm there, I'm just there. You know what I'm saying? Now we got spatial awareness, so we got cheeks that'll be about this size here. So we come over here, right? And then we'll just put our eyes in there like that, right? Okay. And again, I'm looking at how all of the muscle groups of the face interact with each other. Okay. I know what they do, I know what they want to do, how they got to behave, but we're looking at them in relationship to each other. Okay. See, this is quick caricatures. That's what caricatures are. It's a quick interpretation of somebody. Okay. You always get a nervous anticipation before the gigs. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you'll feel like you can't get it right that day. It happens. Or all performers I think get a little bit of anxiety, but then once you settle in, you're settled in. You know what I mean? But then again, I've been doing this for so many years that it doesn't. It's just you know, it's just a second habit, a second nature almost. I never think in my head is are they going to like the pictures? What I'm saying, I don't do that anymore. I just think because I can't know that. That's a question that I can't know. That's a question mark question, right? It's a question mark question. Let's see who got an interesting smile. She got a big smile. Look at that big old smile. Now watch this. Now what I would do with her, I would make this a wide. I give her some wide. I give her a wide situation like this. You see how wide that smile, that situation is? And then I just put the third. So I got three landmarks. If I make them simple, it's easier for me to draw it. Okay? I got one, two, three things I got to do there. Right? And spatial awareness. What is spatial? Well, now you try. Well, how did I know about spatial awareness here? Well, because all if you know about features, features are drawn in formations like birds. So if I put a little hook right here, right? Let's just say these are little hooks, right? These are little hooks, right? Okay, and this is a hook, and this is a little hook, right? Well, in order for me to draw this, these hooks, right? Look what these hooks are. They're in a formation, right? So in order for me to draw, if this is the, so this is literally the formation of what I just drew, right? So what did I just do? I used spatial awareness to say this is where my eyebrows are going to connect, okay? This, right? These are the other two spatial hooks, right? This is where my mouth goes, and this is where my nose is. You see the spatial awareness? Look at the teeth in here. This is this to me in my head. So I'm hanging things, you know what I'm saying? Oh, the Beverly Hills Hotel. You got to send some pictures of that. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, yeah. Don't forget, guys, share the live. Share the live. Share it. Share it right now. Okay, you get what you get. You understand what I'm saying? So spatial awareness. Let's go ahead and draw her though. So again, I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna say, okay, she has. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make it a little bit wide out, and then I want this shape to be the same shape as that, the same size as that. You see, and I want my nose here. You get it? So here I'm just putting my mouth, right? Watch. Right? Okay, right? All right. Now we go to our eye shape. So once we have this, we look at, okay, well, how big is her cheeks? Like, they're not really big. So this is the bottom of the cheek. So remember I told you I'm abbreviating here. This is the top of the cheek. Okay? So if that's the top of the cheek, all I gotta do is put my eyes right here. You see? Here's her eye shapes right inside of there. You get what I'm saying? And then you put this, and then you got your eyelashes in there like this. Okay? You see? Boom. Okay? Then you come here and we got the roundness of the cheeks integrated, right, with the smile shape. So I'm looking at how these groups all come together and converge to make shapes. Now here, what we got here, we're gonna keep it simple. We just got, she has a pear-shaped head. So really, what I'll do here is I'll draw the top of the pear, right? But then I'll just bring this little piece of hair right here before I bring it down and go right into our shape here. You get what I'm saying? And then we put our next shape here. Boom, boom, right? So once we have that, now we start thinking in terms of spatial awareness of the head. So we're thinking of points. So we have a point here, right? We have a wide point here, and we have a wide point here, right? So if this is the top, the biggest point of the head here is going to this shape. And then this point is going out here and it's going out to that shape. You get what I'm saying? And then it's coming back, you got your hair, and it's coming back over here, and then it's going back out here. So it's basically got like this shape coming out here like this. You get what I'm saying? And then it comes back here behind the head, right? You get it? So her hair basically, the hair basically behind it looks like this to me. And then her face in the front is like a little potato, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically a shape behind a shape. Okay? All right, that one was pretty cool right there. Okay? Let's try, let's see if somebody that we can make a good exaggeration. Y'all want to do something with some good exaggeration? Let's do this here. Watch, okay? Now, what do we want to exaggerate here? It all depends. If we want, right, we can say, you know what? Look at this tall, big screen forehead she got, right? We can do that, right? And then once we do that, we can go here and just make this really short. Okay? And then look, this is what comes down off of her head. One shape, right? And I'm using spatial awareness to help me to be able to see where everything is going to go to. Okay? Just like that, okay? Now we'll go to our brow. Now we're going to go to our, look, what's it? So we're going to do this. Boom, watch this. I'm going to go like this, boom, and then boom. Now watch what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything into this right here. Watch. I'm going to do this here. Okay, and watch. I'm doing everything in relation right now. Watch this. I got my nose shape here. I'm going to do a wide. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to do this here. So she got a pretty good sized cheek. So I'm going to do something like this up here. And then I just bring it in and bring it around. Okay, you see? So now we got these eye shapes in here. Just like that. Right? And then you got this, right? And you see how I combined my cheeks, right? This shape right here has been combined with the eye shape to eliminate lines in the face, thus giving me a more streamlined appearance for my caricature. Okay, put some lips here. Okay, and then she got like her little ponytail. You see? And then we'll just do something like this here. Okay, just like so. Okay, real simple. Okay, all right. So I hope that this is helping somebody today. We've been here about 45 minutes. 45 minutes so far. Glad that you guys are sticking around. Okay, let's go back here. See what else we got. Let's try maybe this view right here. Okay, and you want to just try all different angles of the face. Try all different angles. Just do it. Try all different angles. What about this one? Okay, this is what I see here. I wonder if that's a thing. Let me see. I wonder if I do like this. I'm just trying something. One, two. I don't know. I'm trying to see if this is going to work. I think it will. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that one came out okay. That's not too bad, right? Thank you, Gibby. I appreciate it. I got some kind of somebody gave me some action today. Thank you. Got a little tip today. Thank you. Let me see. Where's my? Let me make sure. Where's my telephone though? I want to make sure, just in case anybody sent anything on Cash App, I want to make sure I recognize you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Hawkeye. Hmm. Who was that? Let me see. Just making sure. Oh, not nobody yet, but we'll see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Well, let's go to our next one here. And if you guys got any requests or anything, just make a request, and I'll try to show you or talk about what it is you'd like to talk about. Hey, that reminds me of my sister-in-law for some reason. Just something about the way her eyes look, I guess. Yeah.
Sounds like your sister-in-law knows how to keep
Yep.
things lively.
Shut up. My phone was listening to what I just said. It said, "Sounds like my sister-in-law knows how to keep things lively." Why is my phone? What is going on here? It's kind of shut up. All right, let's see what kind of face shape is this. All right, let's keep it. Let's keep it general. So, okay, first thing again you want to do is you want to find out. You want if you're doing spatial awareness, you gotta first of all figure out what kind of shape it is you want to draw first. Now with this one, I might do this here. I might just boom, boom, like this. This is the eyebrows, right? Right, and then because I'm doing what feels like this, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. I like the way this, something like this, right? And then we got the nose shape here. So you see, this is what we got, right? So now what I want to do here, uh, do like this here, and add the eyes in there like that. Maybe just a little bit bigger, right? And then I'm just gonna bring this in like this, and then something like that. I don't know. And then something like this. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. All right. We want to. Okay, this is what we want to do. We got two layers. So we got one layer, two layers. Come back around here, just like that. Okay. Got little earring shapes here. Awesome. Let's look at the top of that forehead shape. This is what I'm seeing. I'm just gonna go right to it. So I see one, two layers. So one, and then I see the second layer here. Okay, coming around like this, and you can see she has sideburns. And then here, let's go ahead and add our hair shapes. Remember, we want just a big overall generalized shape. Spatial awareness, again, that's something that's just developed over time. Okay, something that's developed over time. You can get there, but you have to really, really practice with your basic shapes. Okay, so that's right there. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, okay. All right. Then we'll just go ahead and shadow that in, right? Okay, and then that's it right there. Okay. If she wants to smile some, we can change it, give her a small bit of a smile, but she's really not smiling much in this picture. She looks pretty, pretty, pretty pissed off, right? Yeah. Okay. A little shadow here, like that, right? Just add some little freckles there, you know, just something to do with it. Boom, just like that. Okay. Again, this is a literal version, cartoon version. But the way to get to this version is always going to be a little bit different than the real version. So if you study the picture too long, you're going to probably mess up the picture. If you study the reference of the person too long, if you're looking at a person and you're drawing them live and you study their face too long, you're gonna mess up the picture because you're gonna start your mind's gonna automatically go into detail mode. The only reason you put it like this, you got to give your brain what it likes. Your brain likes generalizations because your brain don't like having to figure out everything. It's doing this all day long. So anytime it can catch a break, it likes to. It's like vacation for my brain when you use associations because then it doesn't have to go through all the hoopla. So what I do is I like to use again those associations that helped me to see things faster and clearer. I use but when you stare at something too intently, but what happens, your brain switches from casual observer mode to this guy really want or this person whatever. Your brain starts saying, well, I guess you want me to study every pimple on the face, so I guess I will. And then you know what I'm saying. So now your brain, your hand is like, what did we draw? Every single last pimple, every single last facial blemish. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking like that when you study at the face too long. But when you think of it in a generalization, when you think of it in associations, stuff like that, it becomes a lot easier for you. Okay. All right. Let me see. I really like that face right there. Let's try that. Now, what she? Let me see here. I don't care. I'm just whatever face comes up. That's just the one I'm gonna do, and we'll get into some. We'll get into some seniors. Maybe we'll do some seniors next. Guys, we'll do some seniors. Okay. All right. Let's look at this face shape right here. Okay. If now what I'm looking here, I see two layers on this face shape. I see a top layer, and then I see this layer right here. So I start seeing the top layer, and then I see this. I see this, and this is what I see. I see this. Okay. That's what I see so far. Okay. So now, once I'm here, spatial awareness takes over. I'm looking at, oh, look how far this nose is from that, right? What am I doing here? Now I'm looking at her eyes in relation to this. So in relation to this, we're gonna do like this. We're gonna go like this, right? And then we'll just come back around. Boom. and we got the cubby in there, like that. And then we'll just come back with our eye shapes, right? Got a circle, and then we'll just kind of color those eyes in like this. You see, just like that. So you can see the relationships. Now we'll just come back and we look at this. We got a one layer, then we got a two layer. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with my bigger layer here, smaller layer here. All right. So I'm gonna go. I have a one layer, and then I'm gonna come back with my two layer, which will come out and come down like this, and then it goes into my chin shape here, right? So add these eyelashes here, okay, and then we have right, something like that. All right, okay. Again, simple associations work every time. I like that cubby method. I never thought about it that way, but I like that for those eyes right there. Right? It's like a little cubby. But if I would have did this, let me see if that would have worked out too. What if I'd have did this and then went like that? I like that too. I actually like that. That looks like a hot pepper. Like a hot pepper, right? See that relationship? Now, why did I say hot pepper? Because hot peppers kind of look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a jalapeno, right? It's a jalapeno pepper, right? And so I put like a eye inside of the jalapeno pepper. You know what I'm saying? Jalapenos. See? Jalapenos. And then you can just bring the eyelashes like this. You see? So it's jalapeno pepper eyes. Oh, thanks, Gibby. I'm glad that you're enjoying the stream today. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Do you have any requests? Anybody have a request? Anything that I can go over with you guys today? I'm just trying to be a good host. You know what I mean? I might not be the most entertaining because I'm not cool anymore. I guess I'm an old school man. Once you become unk, man, you can't be cool no more. Is that what this is? I can't be. The other day, somebody asked me that. Say, hey man, can I call you unk instead? I was like, okay, I guess. I was like, all right. Let me see. What about this one? What about this one? This one looks cool. Let's see here. Okay. How many layers do I see there? One. I see two layers. So I'm gonna go one, and then I'm gonna see. Then I see two. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. Give it's all right. We good, man. Yeah. Okay. That one came out cool too, man. Real awesome. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Okay, and I think we got. Let me see. It's almost. We got an hour. So what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and start. Uh, I'm gonna go with some seniors. Some seniors here. Some older people. Some old people. Smiling faces mix, and we're gonna put seniors. Okay, and then let's go here to a senior. Let's see here. That doesn't look like, these don't look like senior citizens to me. They look like, what about her? That's a cool face right there. Right there. You see the joy. It's a lot of joy in that face right there. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna do about one or two. This is my two senior, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay. So what I see here, I see one, two. I got three layers here. So I got one. Okay. I got two, and then I got the third layer here. Okay. And then I got my shapes here. Okay. Ear shape goes at the bottom. Okay. Got this shape here. Right. One. And we got this shape. And then we got that shape. Then we got this shape. Okay. Okay. Just like that. And then what do we got? We got one, two, right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this relationship here down first. Okay. Like this here. Right. General relationship. Okay. Then we have these big old cheeks here. So she got little. She got these little cheeks. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go. We're gonna go like this in relation to that eye. Boom. And then we're gonna come. Once we do that, we'll come down, and then we'll just come around so we can fit those cheeks in there like that. And she has like a lot of lighting in the eyes, right? Like that. The eyes in there, right? The top lip here, okay? And then we got a little scarf, just goes around it like this. Yes, good shot. And then we got some hair just floating around out there like that. Okay. Okay. So guys, let me go ahead and give you guys a bit of information here so that we can. It's about to be that time for me to I'm about to go eat, go to the gym. I need to go to the gym today, right? We're going to the gym today. Oh, look at that face. I wonder if I can get that. Listen to that face right there. Let's see if I can get that face. And then this is my last one, I swear it. Okay. I just got carried away today. Okay, what if I do this here? Yes. Yes. Oh, you know what? And grandma's sweater, right? Something like that. You see. Hey, Rouser, how's it going? Just joined your mini course caricature tier yesterday. Hey, thank you. I appreciate your pucks. Okay. That was okay. I was wondering who what man, awesome. Such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting me. I'm thank you. Let me see. I just joined your mini course. Okay. I love the material and your teaching method, and I'm looking forward to more. Great job. Thanks, man. And actually, I'm putting up a new course this morning. I just got through working on that, so I'll be uploading a new course because I'm going to be doing. My goal is to at least upload one mini course per month on there. Um, Also, here I wanna, I really want to plan to do some live streams on Patreon. So for you guys that are on my that are supporting me on Patreon, I'm gonna be doing some special streams here just for you guys. So we'll be like, just the people that are there. And I think that's gonna be an awesome thing. So I'm gonna be doing some little workshops and things there. So if you're already a member, just go ahead and strap in, guys, because we got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing here. I just my son's going to be going back to go. Well, actually, this summertime, so my little boy is going to be starting school this year. So I'll have one less face to or one less person to keep track of in the house during the day. That's going to free up some time. So I'm going to be doing some things, but everything had to be done in time. So again, Pak Su, I think that's how I say that. Thank you again. I appreciate you for helping me, supporting us, guys. Thank you. Okay. So here I'm just kind of shadowing this in here. Right. Okay. And again, remember the last thing before I go and start doing our word of the day. I do want you guys to remember again that the most important thing that you can do with caricatures learn your associations. Will also learn your spatial awareness. So you have your associations. Okay, you have your spatial awareness. Spatial awareness is a great thing. Okay, you can learn that by practicing basic shapes, pretty much. Okay, and then also you want to learn the art of brevity or abbreviation, abbreviation, abbreviate. Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. Okay, but you want to learn the art of that, and that is to say things without as many words. You get what I mean? So, um, my first, again, my recommendation to you is to practice those basic shapes And then also when you're looking at pictures and you're starting to draw them, after you do this a while, if you practice drawing at least one or two, maybe three faces per day, you get what I'm saying? If you do at least 2 to 3 faces a day, you start to see the layers of the face. Here you can see this one. I got one layer, 2 layers, three. So you can see here that this is one. Right. Watch. This is two. You see what I'm saying? This is three. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your bottom layer. You see? Then you got your hair. You see how everything stays abbreviated. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it in the first section of the head is one. This section of the head to me is two. This section of the head to me is three. And I can see the distinct changes because here you can see, look, this is the eyebrows that hook right into that shape, right? These right here are the eye shapes, right? And then you got your nose shape here, right? And so this is going here, watch. Look, see? That's that shape right there. And then this is this shape here. You get what I'm saying? So if I could do this in the most general, keep everything in a general way, my character comes out very quickly. Okay. Okay. Without a whole lot of lines, you don't need a whole lot of complicated stuff. Okay. Which I even like the way that I like the way that played out. Okay. You can see how I used the nose. I went up and then I created the nose and I went back around, which that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay. Let me put some lighting in here. Some wrinkles. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get ready for our word of the day, and then we'll go ahead and get you guys out of here. Okay. All right. So I had a lot of fun with that. Let's go ahead and pause our music here. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my Bible out. We're going to go ahead and jump into our word of the day, guys. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is our Bible study part of the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream today, that was my aim, that was my goal to help you. Oh yes, marker control. I'll actually make a video about that. Let me see, Pack. Let me see, Pack. Hold on. Okay, and you set marker control. All right, I'm gonna make a mini course about that for you on Patreon. Okay. And if anybody else, if you ever have a question or a video or something that you want, something that you need that a video on or something like that, because you're a member, just reach out to me and ask me, and then if I don't have a video about that, I'll make sure that I get one up there for you. To say thanks for supporting us. Okay, so go ahead and if you feel free to do that anytime you like. Okay. Well, Austin, you can do so through Cash App. I'm sorry. This is our Cash App here. That's the only way that we have, and then the other way here is to use the Super Chat, which is here on YouTube. So I think they have like super stickers or something, and you can put a dollar amount, and then it would automatically go to our YouTube account, and then we can do it from there too as well. So if you want to give that either of those two ways, Austin, thank you. Okay. Your name's Alex Vasquez. Okay, Alex. I know it is. I saw it was on there. Alexis Vasquez. Okay, yeah. I was like, that's just your call sign, right? Okay. I got you, Alexis. Again, thank you for coming out. All right, so right now, guys, what we're about to do is we're going to go into our Bible study. Okay, so after every stream, I like to do a Bible study. This Bible study is not me preaching at anybody. This Bible study is me dealing with things in my own life, and then if someone here is is dealing with something in their life, and they feel like, hey, you know what, I needed to hear that today, then this is for you as well. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to keep it just like that. All right, now let's go ahead, guys, and I'm going to actually turn this off because I don't need the pad anymore. I do need my Bible, however, so let's go ahead and get our Bibles out. Okay, now I'll put this over here to the side. Okay, and let's go here. Okay, so our word of the day today. First of all, let's go ahead and pray. Thank you, God, for just waking us up this morning. Thank you for breath in our bodies. Thank you for health in our bodies. Thank you for our friends and our family, the provisions that you've given for us, not just yesterday, but the provisions that you're going to bring for us today. Thank you for renewed hearts. Thank you for renewed spirits. Thank you for renewed thinking. Thank you for purpose. There's so many things to be thankful, God, for, and we appreciate you for those things because we're entitled to nothing. So open up our hearts and minds to receive your word today uh, and show us what we're supposed to know, what we're supposed to do, what transformations you want us to make today. In the name of Jesus, amen. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that Bible study. Thank you. All right, so our word of the day today is going to be observation. Okay, so we've been since that was our word of the day today, right? We're gonna we were talking about what can make you better as a caricature artist. What are the three things that'll make you better as a caricature artist? Okay, well, the first thing that we talked about is your ability to observe things. Okay, so that's what our word of the day is: observation. How well do you observe? How well do you observe, and what things you can do to help you observe better? We're going to be talking about that as well. Okay, so as artists, sometimes we spend a lot of time training our hands. We're always just drawing things, right? But in reality, right, drawing is really not about training hands. Drawing is about training your eyes because if I do this, watch, what good is my hand, right, if my eye doesn't know where it's going? Our eyes are for us to make pathways to be able to see things, right? So if I close my eyes, then everything becomes different. How can I draw a caricature like this? Well, this is the equivalent of what you're doing when you don't study and when you don't practice. What you're doing is you're disconnecting your eyes and your mind from your body. You're disconnected. Wherever your body, wherever the head goes, you ever heard this? Wherever your head goes, the body follows. So if my head is nowhere, guess where my hand is going to be? Nowhere, right? If I'm driving, the moment my head does this and looks out the side of that car window, I'm no longer driving my vehicle. The long moment I look down from at my phone, I have switched from driving to watching my phone. Your body will follow and will give attention to where your head goes. You get what I'm saying? Like that. Okay, that's how things go. So we spend a lot of time training our hand, but our hand is not the issue. What the issue is most of the time with artists is the eyes, training your eyes. Most drawing mistakes are not hand problems, they are seeing problems, right? The same principle, this same principle, guys, also applies in our walk with God. The better we learn to see, the better we learn to live. So you know how in a drawing, sometimes you drawing something and you be like, man, that just doesn't look right, and then you be like, then you'll come down here and and you keep trying it over and over and over again, and it's because you haven't stopped to see what's underneath the shape that you're trying to draw. You can't think of it. You've you haven't trained your ability to see things in simple forms. Sometimes simplicity just eludes us. We just, if something is too simple, we usually dismiss it, right? If something is too playful or not, if it doesn't make us feel like, if something doesn't stroke our ego when we learn it, right? If it doesn't make us feel smart, because, or if it doesn't put us ahead, we tend to brush that thing away as unimportant. You get what I'm saying? People like cartoons seem unimportant, unreal, not relatable to people that are old and cynical. You're old, you're cynical, you've seen the world, you've done it all. Cartoons are, but nothing taught me not to be better than that than having children. I learned when I had children, I had to start watching cartoons again every day. And then I started thinking to myself, why am I sitting around here watching the first 48? How depressing. You get what I'm saying? What good is that going to bring to your life to see other people in misery? It's about what we watch, observations. So you have to learn to watch cartoons to draw cartoons, but I don't know how I got there. Let's just get back into where we're going. So remember, the better we learn to see, the better we can learn to live. The better we can learn to see what's actually important in life, right? And draw lines going toward those things. Today we were doing a lot of connect the dots to see things. So I told you about spatial awareness, right? Spatial awareness is, let's say this is a square. I want to learn how to draw a square. I've never drawn a square before, okay? So I'm seeing this square. So what I do is I look at that square and I spatially put dots where the major points of or turns of the square are. And then I draw lines toward them. This is how different shapes are made. Okay? You see? Because they travel in a certain line from one point to another. But in order to do this, you have to be able to see this. Okay? That it's just this simple. It's just connecting the dots. But something in your mind doesn't want to accept connected dots because connected dots is too simple. You understand what I'm saying? So getting better at caricature, getting better at this thing called life. What must I do? A good artist learns to see. So I must learn to see. As a beginner artists often think drawing is about making better lines. Making better lines. In other words, they can do this real good. Okay? That is not what this is all about. An experienced artist, a person that's been drawing a while, one that has learned to make observations, knows it's about seeing better shapes, angles, and relationships. Right? Shapes, different shapes, just like in the world there are different people. That's what shapes represent. You want to be a better person in life? Realize there's different types of people in the world. There's different shapes of people, right? Realize that everybody got a different angle. There's different angles, different ways to see things. So people are different and they have different angles of seeing things, right? And then we also realize relationships. What are the commonalities between people? This is usually what binds people together because the Bible says, how can two people go down the same road unless they are first in agreement, right? You have to first agree with somebody, right? In angle, in shape, something must connect you relationally to this particular situation, okay? So all I need to do then is if I have three shapes here, right? I need to figure out, number one, what the shapes are. In this case, they're squares. What angles they are from each other. So now I can measure the points of the angles by getting these little points so I know what angle they're going to, and the relationship, how far they are from each other. You get what I'm saying? How close or far away they are. How do they relate to one another? When I teach caricature, I often tell my students that the pencil isn't the problem, the eyes are the problem. The pencil is just taking the blame. The pencil is just taking the blame because it's not the tool, it's the artist. You can draw a caricature with a pen. You can draw a caricature with a pencil. You can draw a caricature with a marker. You can go outside and take your finger and put it in the dirt and draw a caricature. It's not the tool, it's the artist. So a student might say, like, he can't draw noses. And I say, you can draw noses. You're just drawing the nose you think is there instead of the one that's actually there, right? Let me show you something. If I were to take, this is a small concept here. Hold on, let me see if I can find that paper, that page there. No, that's not it. Let me see. Nope. Hold on one sec, guys. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me show you something here. Let me see if I can find one where it would make that. Okay, this guy. If you guys look at that guy's nose, right? I'm going to show you this just before we can show you. Okay. You say, well, I'm drawing a caricature of him, right? Observations mean this. Did you know that they are hard and soft shapes? So if you draw the same shape, but you draw it in the wrong way, it's not going to get the likeness because this is soft, right? This is hard because it has hard edges, soft edges. So when I get to this nose, I'm saying, oh, I draw that nose. So I stop looking at the nose. And what I do is I look at how the nose feels. Does it feel like an edgy nose with a lot of turns, or does it feel soft like this? Well, to me, that nose doesn't have a lot. It just feels like a soft shape. So what I'm thinking now is a soft shape. And in order for me to draw soft shapes, I must emphasize outward lines, right? Lines that go out like a cloud. Like a cloud has lines that go out a lot. That's why we call it soft and puffy, because see all the lines are going outwards. So when I draw the nose, what do I want to do? Where should all my lines point? Outwards. Watch. Out, 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 out. Not out, then out, then in, then out, then in. No, you only need this. This is a generalization of what the nose is. This looks more like him than even if I drew his actual nose in the picture because of the power of the generalization. The soft and hard. The observation that something looks soft, like it feels soft, and something looks like it feels hard. You get what I'm saying? That's an observation. You have to make that while you're drawing the face. Okay? Yes. Okay? Hold on one sec, guys. I shouldn't have put this out here. Hold on. Okay. So good artists slow down and they observe what's happening. Okay? Good artists observe what's happening. Okay? Let me go over here again, guys. Hold on. Okay? One scripture here says, open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. Open my eyes so that I may see wonderful things in your law. You're sitting here, when I told you this, you were like, I didn't know that. How did you see that? And then it becomes a spiritual thing. It's seeing beyond what's there, seeing what's actually there versus what you think is there. Okay? It says, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. In Jeremiah 33. In Matthew, it says, blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Sometimes somebody can be telling you something, but because your desire for something is blinding you, you can't hear correctly what they're saying. You can't see correctly what they're saying because desire blinds you so that you can only see what you want to see. It encourages us here to ask God to help us to see what we've been overlooking. Sometimes the answer isn't always hidden. We're simply just not paying attention to it. So maybe it's there. A lot of the times it is there. But because it's so subtle, right? So subtle, you think it's not there. So we got to keep our eyes peeled for clues and things that tell us how to draw things. So a good artist, point one, learns how to see good. Now, what else does a good artist do? It says we often draw what we think we see. Point number two. One of the biggest challenges for beginning artists is drawing symbols instead of reality, right? They draw the eye they learned in third grade, or they draw a nose from a cartoon, or they draw the ear from memory. Then they wonder why the portrait doesn't look like the person. It's because memory got involved before observation. Okay? Memory gets involved before your observation. Whoa, a funny thing happens when students first start really observing. They'll stare at a face and suddenly say, wait, ears don't look like that. When you start to observe things, you'll see that it really wasn't what you thought it was in the first place. But the moment that you try to reference, it's kind of like this. I was in a bad relationship before. You meet a new person, right? And this person is great. They're great. They're the one you're supposed to be with, but your memory takes over. And your memory says, I remember the last time I did this, and this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to draw that. And you keep drawing the same wrong thing because what you remember doesn't even apply to this person. You get what I'm saying? So you're remembering something that's holding you back. And that's the same thing as saying here. It's because our memory got involved before we observed the situation. How many of us do that? How many of us get in a situation, right? And then we allow our memory to take over, right? Before we observe and see what's going on in the situation. You get what I'm saying? Once a liar, always a liar, right? But we don't allow the move of the Holy Spirit to move on us. We don't allow us to be ourselves to be usable and effective in situations because we're always going back to the memory and we're not using true observation. That means no talk, don't talk, just look and listen. But when you look, see without motive, see without your ego. A lot of the times that's what makes you overlook things is because you're so worried about whether the person's going to like the picture that divides your mind and then you can't see. I already know they're going to like it. When you pay attention, the Lord will tell you what to draw next. The Spirit will tell you what to draw next. It just does. I don't question the next stroke anymore because if I have several different ways of approaching the face. One day I might look at a face and the first thing that come to my head is start at the hair shed. That's what the Lord said, and thus saith the Lord, and that's where I go. And then the next thing might say go to the note, go to the chin shape. It's there. It says it because there's this thing. How can I put it that speaks to you and guides you all throughout your day? You know what I'm talking about. It's a voice that's always inside of your head telling you where to go and what to do. You just don't listen to it. You get what I'm saying? You're not observing the voice. You think you don't, the word of God, God's always speaking to us all day, but we just don't want to be observant of it. It says, yes, ears don't look like that. And exactly they don't when you try to draw them based off your memory. But guess what? Those are the same ears you've been drawing for the last 25 years. That's why you have it improved because you keep drawing it from your memory, right? Instead of going, finding out exactly how it's engineered, and then simplify, right? That's how I learned everything I know how to draw. I didn't just by osmosis know how to draw nothing. I had to study to get better. It wasn't born with being able to draw nothing. I had to study, listen to me to get better. Okay? In Proverbs it says at 8:13, let's see what it says. To answer before listening is folly and shame. Ooh, listen, in Proverbs 18, to answer before listening, to draw before observing is folly and shame. You're too in a rush. You got another motive, and the motive is not to draw this thing, it is something else. And you might not think it is, but it's there. It's the thing that's making you rush through the process and not observe. Maybe it's because you desire to be like another artist. Maybe you've seen me draw and you say, wow, I want to be able to look like, I want to do it like. And so you want to get to a level by skipping all the other levels without understanding that every time you practice one time, you get incrementally better. And it could be one day that God just supernaturally blesses you with information beyond what your study, He just programs it into you. And those things can happen because God can do anything. It says in John 7:24, stop judging by mere appearances, excuse me, but instead judge correctly. Don't judge by mere appearances. And then in Proverbs 3, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So you can look at something and not see what it truly is. So, an application for this can be many of our understandings, misunderstandings, come from when we assume things. We assume we know what someone meant when we are talking to them. We assume we know their motives. We assume they know their whole story. I know people like this, and they always say, I have discernment of people. I know what people are thinking. They're lying. Nobody knows what nobody's thinking. It's not true. Now they can give you indications based off of how they're moving or stuff like that, right? But in general, that's why God made thoughts private. So observation requires humility because it admits that maybe I don't see this as clearly as I think. So in order to be watchful and observe, you must first admit that you don't know. You can't. I know how to draw an ear. I'm gonna just go in and jump in and draw this ear. And then there's the other person that says, I'm going to go learn how to draw an ear, learn how it's built basically, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to draw that thing. Okay? And then finally, guys, my last point that we'll wrap this thing up. Point three, in life, we often do the same thing. Okay, that we just mentioned. So here we talked about thinking what we drawing what we think we see, right? And then we also talked about learning to see, and we talked about how we need to observe things and learn how to observe things that are right in front of us, and we're learning how we should not go back and always think we know based off of a past circumstance, but that we must learn how to draw something, learn how it's put together first, learn all the facts of the situation first, and then this is how you'll be able to effectively draw it. So you basically in life and drawing, you're building a repertoire of things that you can use when you get to the battlefield. In this case, it's drawing, but life is a whole nother battlefield, but the same concepts are going to apply. But the last thing says that life is often the same as what we talked about. In life, we often react to what we think. We often react based off of what we think is happening rather than what is actually happening. A person doesn't smile at us, so we assume that they're upset, right? But they could just be going through something about what they're going through in life, right? This ain't got nothing to do with you. You're really not that important. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't thinking about you, right? Somebody might be trying to get over in traffic, but you think they're trying to cut you off, but really they're just thinking about getting to work early. They ain't even looking at you, but you think that they got in front of you because it was about you. They think a prayer isn't immediately answered. We assume that God isn't working. As soon as you pray, you like, well, God, and then as soon as God does, if it don't happen, as soon as you get up off your knees, you feel like God didn't listen to you, and you start questioning things. When a door closes, we assume that the journey is over. When somebody tells you no, you shut down automatically. I look at no as a doorway to yes. Oh, this door is closed. This door is closed. That means the yes door must be further down the hallway. Get what I'm saying? So, but we shut down when things get a little bit adverse to us. These are all examples of when we don't know how to see. If we don't know how to see in real life, how can you learn how to see on a, and even though drawing is real life, how can you learn to see on a drawing board when you can't really even see in real life? You can't draw from your mind because you haven't put anything there to see. And on top of that, maybe you think you know, but you don't. So and either you're not humble enough or you're too in a rush to go back and study how it's built, trace it out, trace it with your own, make associations based off of your own tracings, right? And then you'll see the answer reveal itself. Observation, right, teaches patience. So we sit back and we observe things. When I'm sitting here drawing in my studio, when I'm learning something, I might be like, I might I might go here. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you. I might go here and let's say I got a picture right here. Let me show you. Look at this. Let me show you. Okay. I want to know how to draw her. I take my pad, right, and I start looking. Watch this. I start looking for shapes. Wait, let me wait. I start looking for the shapes. Okay. I start looking for the shapes. Get what I'm saying? The general shapes. I start looking. Where are they? And each shape, when I draw it, they look like something else to me. And I keep it just that simple. So it's showing me relationships. It's showing me what everything is without all of the little hairs and dimples and pimples and all that. You get what I'm saying? That's how this works. Artists know that if you stare at something long enough, details begin to emerge that you completely missed at first. So when you're studying the Bible, I don't know if this ever happened to you. You could have read a scripture before, right? And then when you read the scripture again, it seems to jump off the page at you, even though you've read that scripture 5 times before. It's because that's just the way your brain works. Okay? Life with God is often the same way. Sometimes God is working beneath the surface and we don't recognize it much until later. It's not till later in life I went back and saw all of the stuff that God delivered me from as a young person. The times that he was there when I didn't think he was there. The time he was listening when I didn't think he was listening. The time he answered a prayer, right? When I didn't, I can remember the most sincere prayer that I ever prayed in my life. And I'm going to tell you what it was. I can remember I was 24 years old and I was in a jail cell. 24 years old, 30 something years ago. I'm facing a life sentence in prison. Life. I'm going before a jury and I'm crying the night before and I said, Jesus, I said, Lord, just don't let these people put me away for the rest of my life. I promise I just made a mistake. I didn't know. Please, God, I didn't know I was hanging around the wrong people. I didn't mean to do this, blah, blah, blah. I just, and God, and I had never cried out to God like that in my life. And now I'm sitting here. The other day I was holding my son. I got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter. I had her when I was 37, 48, and 50 when I had my son. And I'm sitting here and I'm holding my sons and they're saying, Daddy, Daddy, and we're playing at the beach or we're going to church together or we're doing things. And I look back and I just broke down in tears and I said, well, God delivered me. He heard me. He heard me. He heard me when I asked him not to let them put me away for life. That's just one example. But those type of things make you greater. Life is often the same way. Sometimes God is working beneath the surface and we don't recognize it. So in Second Corinthians and finishing up, it says, for we live by faith, not by sight. It says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither my ways nor your ways, declares the Lord. In Romans, it says, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. So he's telling us, just like it is in life, right? Just like it is in heaven, let it be done on earth. Be an observer. Be an observer. Be an observer. Stop and look and see what's happening and leave room for the Spirit to speak to you and leave out all of your preconceived notions in your memory and be humble enough and have a good thinking of yourself or a judgment of yourself to say, I don't know it all. I don't know everything. And I'm willing to go back and I'm willing to practice to make myself better. Observation isn't just about seeing with your eyes, guys. It's about seeing with wisdom, with patience, and with faith. The artist who learns to observe carefully draws more accurately. I learned to see more carefully. When I began to observe in my life, I began to not make as many mistakes as I did when I was a young person. You understand? I'm trying to tie this together for you. Show you how art, everything's connected because God is omnipresent. That means that what he says applies to every single thing you can do. Whether you're raising kids, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a scientist, whether you're a social studies teacher, it doesn't matter. I'm an artist. Okay, so if you want to learn to draw more carefully, you want to make less mistakes in your drawing, you have to learn how to be more observant and more obedient and more humble. A Christian who learns to observe carefully will live more wisely. You won't make as many mistakes in your actual life when you talk to somebody, when you come across situations. If you actually stop to observe, you'll see that most of the stuff that you're worried about, you shouldn't even be worried about because ain't nobody thinking about you. You just think everybody thinking about you. That's what you told yourself in your mind, so you keep drawing that line on the paper. Everybody's thinking about me. Everybody's watching me. I'm what's important in my life. People are always after me. This is what you get what I'm saying. You keep playing the same tune back in your head, and it's driving you crazy. So I'm here today, and we're here today to, and not just you, but me, because I have issues like this in my life sometimes. You get what I'm saying? So we are encouraging one another. This is what we're doing today. So in closing, guys, and I'm done. I'm just gonna wrap this up here. Um, when you're drawing, don't just look. Observe. Looking is there's a cup here, right? Observing is there's a cup here that says I have a hero. I call him Dad, and it has a this little shape on the end like a handle, and it has this white stuff on the bottom, and it's a little white compared to the more blue, right? You see what I'm saying? This will make you a better student. This will make you better with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, because you'll start observing what your wife like, and then watch. She ain't even watching you. You observing. You looking. While he's not watching, you observing and you looking. Oh, you get what I'm saying? Your boss at work, you observing him, and you see, okay, my boss likes to get this kind of donuts. right? And then, or he likes to get this, or he likes when people say this to him, or he likes when people show up at this particular time. Well, this is the time he's usually in his office. These are all observations that can make your life easier. But if you're caught up in your own world, you never see them. You just sitting here, why does my boss not like me? Because you keep coming in my office at the wrong time. You give me the wrong kind of cupcakes and donuts because you're so concerned about what you want, you don't take an interest in other people. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. When you're drawing, don't just look, observe. When you're reading scripture, don't just read scripture, observe what's going on in the scripture. Put yourself in the story. Be David, be Goliath, right? Be Moses, right? What must he have felt like to be charged with having to lead an entire civilization of people out of a place of captivity to a new place that he had never been before, all on the word of God? How did he feel inside when he got into the different interactions with his brothers, right? Right? With the people, when he had to make up the rules, when he had to go speak to God on the side of them, what was he feeling? You get what I'm saying? When you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with the scripture, don't just read it, observe it. When you're dealing with people, don't just react, observe people. You get in a lot less fights and disagreements if you just observe people. You observe them. You look them in the eyes and you can tell, you know what I'm saying? You look at where they at in relation to you. You look at their angle in relation to all of these things, and it help you to be more in control of your thoughts and of your life. When God is working in your life, don't assume he's absent simply because you can't see the whole picture yet. When God is not working, when God is working in your life, right? God is doing something right now powerful for each and every one of us in our life. He's doing something right now as we speak, because it says when two or more are gathered, he is here. We cannot assume in this moment that he's not here. That's not healthy. That he's absent simply because right now we can't see the blessing of his word going into our ears, into our minds right now. We don't know what blessings is going to bring us later, so we feel like God's not present. But let me show you something. The only way you could tell if something worked is when you try it. Some things work like this, and some things are a progression. And the walk with God is a progression because he tells you, I'm going to give you your daily bread, but I got a purpose for you. You're going to arrive at a place. And in this place that you're going to arrive at, you're going to like it a lot. You're going to like it a whole lot if you listen to me now. That's all you need to know. That wakes me up every morning and keeps joy, in my house, in my family, and my children. Because Father believes. After all, guys, some of the best drawings, and I'm done. Start some of the best drawings. They start with lines that don't make sense until the artist finishes the sketch. A lot of people see me draw live and they'll tell me, I didn't even know where you was going with this. Because God is still drawing the picture, right? In the same way. We just happen to be standing a little too close to the canvas sometimes, right? And just because you only see this and this and this, you don't know where I'm going. You don't see how I'm going to connect things together to make something. So that's our word of the day, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming out today to share the word with me. I'm going to go ahead and pause my music here. That was super awesome. I hope you guys did learn a lot about how to become better caricature artists, learn about observation and all those good things. I do want to leave you with a few announcements at the end here. So just let me tell you about our online classes. We do have our online classes Right now, we're doing a special. They're 105 for 3 classes. So normally they're $45 per class. There, I teach you how to be a caricature artist. So if you want to learn about caricature, you want to work in an amusement park, you want to make a side hustle with your art. You're gifted at drawing, but you really don't know where to turn that energy toward, and you want to step up and get into something like this. Well, then we have something here I believe that can help you. Our classes are very user friendly. I talk to you in a language you can understand. I'm not going to get on here with a whole bunch of anatomy and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to teach you in the way that your brain likes to learn, and that's through observation and association. Okay, so go ahead and take a class with me today. Also, we do have our Patreon page. If you'd like to support our ministry, Rouser World Ministry, me and my wife started this ministry about maybe 15 years ago. At first, it was not a ministry, and then one day the Lord spoke to me and told me, you need to start. This is not about you. I'll take care of everything else. So I decided that I was going to start sharing my faith and different things here online, and then that turned into me doing ministering and talking and sharing with youth and all that about God, and so all that stuff just started as a result. Of me just being obedient to God. So that's what we do here. If you guys would want to support what we do, that is again connecting God and art, um, we would love for you to be a part of our family. So just go over there and check it out. We do have behind the scenes videos there. We do have some video courses. In fact, we just started a new tier called the mini course caricature tier, which Alexis, he's here today. He's actually, or they have already started on that tier, and I'm glad to hear that they're excited about the content and information that's there. So don't forget to check that out. And finally, guys, our tent. So this is what everybody's been asking about our tent. So we have our tent giveaway here. Oh, not tent giveaway. We're having a tent, not a giveaway, replacement. So we're seeking to buy a new tent for our outdoor events. So we're asking our fans to help us replace our tent. So this is a fundraiser that we're doing. Our goal is to reach $950 to be able to replace our tent that was destroyed in a weather event as we were drawing down by the beach one day, and the weather just got really bad, and so the tent winded up breaking overnight. We had to leave it and come back the next day, and we came back, it was all in pieces. So it was kind of crazy. So anyway, this is where we're standing. We're at $140 of our total goal. So that's where we're at. If you guys want to help us, you can help through Cash App. You already have the information is on the screen for you. But if you can't read that because it's too small, this is our Cash App. It's called $Rouser World. And of course, guys, tips are appreciated if you feel like you benefited from the drawing segment of the stream. Okay, so if the Lord's placed it on your heart to give today, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I know you guys got much things to do. Um, I enjoyed this time with you. I'll be streaming again on Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. However, there might be a bonus stream involved somewhere between here and there if the good Lord say the same, okay? So you guys have a blessed and awesome day. Thank you for coming out. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you guys next time.